Hello there! We've got a lot to look at today. We'll see how to deal with the challenge of quilting with squares, both positive and negative. We'll look at some beautiful effects you can do with neon threads. Barbara Oliver Hartman is here to show us some of her amazing work with hand-dyed fabrics, and she's going to share her tips for organizing dyeing supplies. Plus, we're looking at quilt labels. We better get started. Stay tuned. Linda's Longarm Quilting is aired free to you by Gamble Quilting Systems Vision 2. Innovation taken to the next level. My stitch, my vision, my Gamble. When you wrap up a quilting project, it's a nice finishing touch to add a label. Not only should every quilt have a label to recognize the makers, but labels can be a good source of advertising for longarm quilters. A free or low-cost label with your company's name on it is a great way to advertise your services, since the #1 source of advertising is word of mouth, and you know your customers will want to show off their beautiful completed quilt. The personalized label is also something customers really look forward to when they pick up their quilt. Doing this helps set you apart from other longarm quilters. There are even computer programs for quilt labels with special designs and fonts that you can print right out on the fabric. So often I'm asked, how do you know what to put on the quilt? I think that's one of the most common questions in the mind of the quilter, and more, your customers are going to be asking you to design the quilt because they see your work and they trust you to put on the quilt what's going to be right. And so one of the things that will help you, give you a little bit of a clue, is to look at the quilt and see if it's squarish or roundish or soft or harsh, and maybe put something on that's in contrast to it. So this little quilt, this is positive and negative squares. It's very colorful. So I want it to stay with the color, and of course if I'm going to use a thread on here, it's got to really show. So I've chosen a neon yellow to put on this quilt for the first color. And then I decided to, because there's so many squares in it, and I have lots of open space, I'm going to soften it with some of the circles and ovals and some of these other designs. And I really wanted to show you a spirograph, so I thought, let's put some spirographs on here. So I'm going to show you how to do that, and I'm starting with the workstation, and this time, this is in the oval position, the oval template, and I found the center up there of the square. I've already done a larger styrograph around the square, so this time I'm going to do a smaller one, and I'm going to come out to, I think, the third size. Now it's going to stay in the very same size of oval to do this spirograph, and I've locked the station in so it's in this position. Now I'll reach up here and get my thread up. There we go. Pull it back to me, and we're going to turn our machine on and go around like that. Now I'm going to turn the machine off and just move the station into the next position like that, lock it in, turn it on, and go around. And I'll do this rather quickly, so you can see how fast you'll be able to do this. When I stop, I look up there and I make sure that I have gone beyond the place where I started, about a ½ inch. And that secures my stitches for me. I always turn the machine off as I move because I'm in regulated mode. Go around like that, and you can see it's beginning to take form just by moving this around to these different positions, and it's such bright thread. Oh my goodness, this is nice. More and more of these bright colors are being used on quilts today, and I think they're so pretty. There we go, and I know that the first position now is back where I started because I was in the horizontal position. So I'm finished with the workstation. I'll take my stylus out, and I'm going to go to the front of the machine, and I'm going to show you how I did some of these circles. Now I could have done these circles on the front using my workstation, but I would have been moving my workstation all over the table and moving the quilt back and forth in different positions. So it was easier when you're going to do circles all over like this, just to get out some of your templates and just place them wherever you wanted. And I decided to do it in a rather random fashion and have some of them overlap. And I'll show you how in fact, once I get this started, let's see, if I start in this position, I think I can hold this template in one place and go all the way around it without stopping. See, it's a little game you play with yourself. You just see how much you can do without stopping. Now, if I start in this position, I will have to move. But we'll come around here like this, move one time, and then go around. You can see how I'm walking my fingers around the template, making sure that right where my foot is where where the pressure for my fingers is. And let's do one more size. We'll just drag our thread over here like this and come around like this. Move our template and back to where we started. Is that so easy to do circles? That's an incredible fun thing. Now I also want some other movement on here, and I want to change the thread. I want to bring some of these other colors in. So let's change to bright neon orange thread, and then I'll show you how I'm going to bring some more movement in. I also, before I change that thread, want to point out that I went ahead and just put the circles right out into the border. Rather than doing a separate border design in either one of these little borders, I just went ahead and did circles out in the border, so it just continues right over the entire quilt. And the freehand design that I'm going to do will do the very same thing. I've changed to the neon orange thread now, and I'm going to start clear off the quilt because these borders are just part of the quilt. I'm not going to do them separately. And I'm going to do a ribbon, and it's going to come through here all the way across the quilt like this. Nice and curvy, and right off the other side. And then I'm going to come back like this and cross like this. And what I'm doing is I'm emphasizing the heels, and I'm going to stop right here to show you. This side of this line is the valley, and this side of this line is the heel where it goes up. So I'm emphasizing the heel. So here I would be coming on this side of the heel. Here we go. Up. And then on the heel side over here, so I'm coming down here and crossing on that heel side. Now on the valley side, the lower side, I'm going to do feathers. So I am putting some more soft designs in here, and this is round and follow, round and follow. And I'm just ignoring those circles, ignoring everything that I have there. There we go. Coming through here, putting them on only one side of the ribbon that I have created. On the underside. There we go. Boy, that thread is really coming through there. And very, very bright. Very pretty. Round and follow. Come through here like this and follow on the underneath side. Now I'm going to do another line and echo the heel side here and make another line. It's about 1/2 inch or 3/4 of an inch here. As you can see right here, about 3/4 of an inch in between. Make sure that you cross in the intersection as you're coming. Okay, now in that area that I have created because of that echoing, I'm going to go back into automatic now, and you can either do like a patterned meandering. In fact, we could do different things in each one of these and make it very, very interesting. let's do that. I just made that up, but I like it. Let's do pattern meandering in this one. Back and forth like this. And then in the next one, when we get to the intersection, we'll be crossing. Keep it nice and keep going until you do that crossing. We'll come up here, and then let's go in here and put some polka dots in the next one. And you see how I'm following that line over, and then I do a circle. I follow it over, and then I do a circle. Whenever you do a polka dot, it really has one flat side. It's like you're coming along like this, flat, and then you go round and you do flat. If you just do an like that, you'll get an E shape. So you really want to follow that around, follow and round, follow and round, follow and round, follow and round, like that. And then maybe in the next shape, we could do almost like a zigzag shape. So we could just change this up and do a different shape in each one, just to make it interesting. This is putting more color on. Of course, it's quilting the quilt, but it's also giving it a little bit of style. So it'll look really cute when we get done, and very interesting to look at. And maybe one more here. And in this one, maybe you'll just want to stipple. Got a tinier area here, but I'm going to be getting into a little bit more area here. And you can stipple there. I may even go back when I'm finished with all of this and add a metallic, maybe a gold metallic on top of this. This is going to emphasize the fact that there is a ribbon in there. So now I have these circles going on, I have these spirographs here, and then right on top of all of that I have this beautiful feathered ribbon going through there, and I really like it. So we've covered some techniques today, such as using your borders just as your quilt, not having to do a separate border design, and certainly using a contrast to what your quilt design is telling you, which will make it very interesting. So why don't you use some of those techniques in some of your quilting and see how it turns out. Good luck. Next time on Linda's Longarm Quilting, we're working on a Bargello design with some freehand and thread painting. Sherry Meineke Johnson shares her techniques for making sure that quilts hang flat, including blocking, binding, and sleeves. And we'll get to the point about needles. Remember, if I can do it, you can do it. See you next time.
For more information, visit us on the web at www.lindaslongarmquilting.com.
We'll be quilting with squares and adding color with neon threads. But right now, we're having technical difficulties.
Linda's Longarm Quilting is made possible by Gamel Quilting Machine Company, worldwide distributors of long-arm quilting machines for over a quarter of a century. Quality, innovation, and service. By Statler Stitcher, providing automation to enhance and expand your long-arm quilting business. By YLI, making decorative threads that help you unleash your imagination. And by Hobbs Bonded Fibers.
I'm having so much fun with my new Gamel Vision 2. I have customized my right handle to the start and stop, and my tie-off feature as well. My left handle has not only the needle position, so I can have my needle start and stop down, but also my stitch button, which toggles between stitch modes. This just keeps getting better and better as I envision more possibilities in my quilting applications. Being able to customize the 4 buttons on the handles has given my creativity wings. My stitch, my vision, my gamble.